Hello, everybody on YouTube. I'm your host, Trey Harris, with 80s Revisited. With me, as always, I'm my producer, Jesse Sedgley.
Yes, I am.
And we're here for our first inaugural test stream, Work Out the Kinks, to bring you live podcasting, hopefully, every week.
Yep. Tell us if you see a problem or if you hear a problem. Maybe you can't even hear us saying that. Tell us in this chat right here.
And that little...
Yeah.
I can't even point to it because my
camera's...
camera's...
Point it. It's right here for me.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm pretty sure.
I can't even...
Yeah.
Hold on. Over there.
Yeah, and just let us know how it goes, and we hope it is a pleasurable experience for you.
So, enjoy the show. Let's go.
Here we go.
It's not Wadsworth.
Is he alive?
Mr. Body. Stand back! Come here! Let me see. He's dead.
What? Who had the gun?
I did.
Then you shot him.
I didn't.
Well, you had the gun. If you didn't shoot him, who did?
Nobody. Look, there's no gunshot wound. Somebody tried to grab the gun from me in the dark and the gun went off. Look, the bullet broke that vase on the mantle. Excuse me. He's absolutely right. Look, there's a bullet hole here in the wall. See that? How did he die? I don't know. I'm not a forensic expert.
Well, one of us must have killed him.
Well, I didn't do it.
Oh, I need a drink.
Maybe he was poisoned. Mrs. Peacock, it's all right. All right, you don't know anything. Sit down. Sit down, Mrs. I had to stop her from screaming.
And we're here to stop you from complaining that you don't have a brand new episode of 80s Revisited assaulting your eardrums. So, right now, here you go. I fucked that up.
And here
it's nerves. It's nerves on YouTube. We're streaming live on YouTube for the first time, so if you're listening to this on the podcast, you might hear some things unusual because we haven't streamed in like 3 years, Jesse. So
it's true. It's been 3 years, and this is very much a test stream. There are probably problems galore. I've already seen some dropped frames, so this is going to be a rough ride. But we are recording a backup, so don't worry, iTunes. You will still hear this.
So fasten your seatbelts. But we're going to talk about Clue. Often, always on my mind, but we've never done it. So it's one of those surprising ones that we haven't done on the podcast yet. But as always, on this blast to the past, I'm your host, Trey Harris. With me, as always, my loyal producer, my own Wadsworth, or my Mr. Body, Jesse Sedgley.
Yes, I am. I got to stay in the mic.
It's new. The Awesome Podcast Network studio is different.
Yeah, a little bit.
We got to use our space. We have to use the space now. Of course, only if you're watching on YouTube can you see this, or at least part of it. But hey, it's a free plug for y'all to check it out next time.
Yep.
But anyway, Clue, one of my absolute favorite movies, top 10 comedies of all time. I can't say enough about this movie.
And it's 187?
I know, 187.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, well, that's the thing. We couldn't just, in the first few episodes, do, like, all the favorite ones. We have to save a few for,
And think of all the ones that came before this, though.
I know. Xanadu.
Like, just 10 episodes ago, there were some stinkers coming through.
Oh, yeah.
And Clue was just sitting there waiting. He's like, go ahead.
Well, that's all, in the rating sag, we got to have that something to pick it up.
Right.
I mean, we still haven't done Fast Times, so there's still...
Really? Gosh.
There's still plenty. But I mean, 187 episodes, that's a lot of movies.
Yep.
And, of course, there's some episodes that weren't movies, but still, that's still a lot.
Right.
That's a lot of freaking movies. But anyway, Clue released December 13th, 1985. IMDb says 7.3. Rotten Tomatoes says 62%. What Nazis? 86% audience, though. So definitely a hit with the crowds. Estimated $15 million budget. Opened at $2 million, which put it at number 6 for the week. However, that was not enough to come anywhere close to the number 1, which was Rocky IV for the 3rd week in a row. Number 1. Domestically, however, went on to gross 14.6, so it didn't quite make its budget back, at least at the theater. However, I'm sure worldwide, VHS, everything, rentals, I'm sure it made its money back eventually, because I know I rented it a ton. Constantly rented this film, loved it so much. And it was definitely, as a kid, this was my intro to Tim Curry. Because I'd seen Legend, but I didn't know, I hadn't seen Rocky Horror Picture Show when I was 5.
Right.
That was alien to me. I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
Legend, like, oh, it's the devil. didn't know what he looked like out of the makeup. Didn't have a clue
true.
who Tim Curry was. But then along came this Jim.
Yes.
And like that man is one of my favorite actors of all time, and it's all because of Clue. That's what put me on the
Wow.
Tim Curry train. It was directed by Jonathan Lynn. He also did Nuns on the Run, Sergeant Bilko, Greedy, and My Cousin Vinny. He also wrote it and was based on a story by him as well as John Landis. And it was based on the game, which was originally called Cluedo by Anthony E. Pratt. And as mentioned before, Tim Curry starring as Wadsworth, a.k.a. I better not say that just yet, because some people might not have seen this movie, strangely
Should
enough.
have.
So spoilers will commence. So if you have not seen Clue, which I
Go watch it
highly
first.
recommend you have, please go watch it first. You will thank us later.
It's on YouTube if you search Clue movie.
And I think it's on either Hulu or it's on one or Amazon.
Yeah.
It's on one of the streaming ones for sure.
But I mean, you can even watch it for free on YouTube.
yeah, there you go.
I mean, you gotta go, watch all those stars and crap. Like I watched on YouTube because I didn't even search the other things.
Yeah.
And it takes up a quarter of the screen, and the rest of it is like just garbage too.
Yeah.
So they don't get detected.
You can just zoom in.
I did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I zoomed into the whole thing, and it was garbage resolution, but I still watched the movie.
I could just listen to the movie and have a good time.
Yes, like we were seeing earlier off camera.
Yeah, but also supporting like I mentioned before, Tim Curry as Wadsworth, a.k.a. Mr. Body, depending on which ending you prefer. Also, of course, Legend, Rocky Horror, Home Alone 2, Fern Gully, the original It, still my Pennywise, and also the 80s version of Annie. Also, Madeline Kahn was Mrs. White, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, An American Tale, Bill Cosby's, I think it was just called Cosby at that time. He's like,
I don't even know.
because he had the Cosby Show, and then he came back with a show, and she was in it. I think it was just called Cosby at that point. But of course now
Yeah.
he's done. But the great Christopher Lloyd is Professor Plum, Back to the Future, Roger Rabbit, Suburban Commando, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He's done it all. Eileen Brennan was Mrs. Peacock, The Sting, Jeepers Creepers, Private Benjamin, and Michael McKean as Mr. Green, Better Call Saul, which is sort of, to me, his a
Yeah.
showcase of how good of an actor he is.
Yep.
Also, of course, this is Spinal Tap, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Mainly a comedic actor, but then every episode of Better Call Saul just it's like, you hate him, but like, just hug your brother, man. But nope, not gonna be doing
Spoilers.
Okay.
You might get into spoilers for that.
Not gonna happen. But
But
Martin Mull as Colonel Mustard, Mrs. Doubtfire, Jingle All the Way, Mr. Mom, the lovely Leslie Ann Warren as Miss Scarlet. My mom knows her mainly from the TV movie of Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, because she used to watch that when she was a kid, and every time it came on network television when me and my brother were children, she would make sure that the whole family watched it, and I hate it with a passion. Not a fan. But also, she was a regular in TV's Mission Impossible, and also she was the mom in the Aerosmith's Janie's Got a Gun video, which I didn't know until I read that on IMDb.
Yeah, I don't frequent that video.
Me either. I remember it, but I don't remember
Yeah.
anything else about it. Colleen Camp, the lovely Colleen Camp, was Yvette. Of course, veteran of the, well, no, not a veteran of the podcast, but she was in Wayne's World, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Apocalypse Now, in America. She was in something. She was in something that we covered on the podcast. I don't
Man,
remember.
if only people on YouTube watching us could tell us. But,
I'm watching that chat box.
you're probably watching an old stream of this.
Yes. You will not see any updates on the chat box. And appropriately named Lee Ving as Mr. Body. He was a frontman and is the frontman for a band called Fear. Supposedly it's a pretty relevant punk band. I've never heard of him myself personally. But he's also in Flashdance. And he was literally picked to be Mr. Body because of his name, Lee Ving. L-E-E, last name Ving. V-I-N-G.
Leaving?
Exactly. Mr. Body will be leaving.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. The lovely Jane Wideland was a singing telegram girl. Of course, rhythm guitars for the Go-Go's. And a veteran of the podcast because she was Joan of Arc in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And she also got to be a Trekkie, or because she's a Trekkie, got to be in Star Trek 4. Bill Henderson is the police officer in the film. He was also in City Slickers, Fletch, and White Men Can't Jump. There's a big cast. Jeffrey Kramer was the motorist. Most notably, he was Roy Scheider's deputy in Jaws 1 and 2. He was also in Halloween 2, and he's actually nowadays more in the producing field, as he's was a producer on Alan McBeal and also The Practice. So he kind of moved away from acting into a different aspect of the film world. And last but not least, Howard Hessman as the chief. Most notably, what I remember him from was Head of the Class, a TV show in the 80s where he was a teacher, and also Flight of the Navigator. And he took over, he was Commandant Lassard's brother, I think, in Police Academy 2, which is why Commandant Lassard wasn't in Police Academy 2, because they had Howard Hessman as the brother. All right. First of all, what a fucking cast, man.
Right.
Tim Curry, Madeline Kahn, Christopher Lloyd, Michael McKean, Martin Mull. These are like tested comedic actors in film, and also dramatically as well. All in the same film. And what blows my mind every single time I watch this, there's always some little part that either I forgot or I caught for the first time. And I promise you, no exaggeration, I've seen this movie at least 40 to 50 times. Like, no, I've seen Star Wars 100 times. Nah, you've probably seen it 40 or 50 maybe. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I've seen this about 4 or 5 times, which is significant for me.
I've watched this so many times as a kid. Because, of course, as I've mentioned before on the podcast, in case you're new, back in the day we have to rent it. You get a VHS, you'd have it for 24 hours. Unless it was an old release, which this one was, you got it for like 3 days.
Yeah.
So, I just spent $3 on it. I'm going to watch it as many times as I can, Uh-oh, it's over. Now, while it's rewinding, let me go to the bathroom, get a snack, come back. Oh, it's still rewinding.
Life was so simple back then.
Yep.
Now we're streaming on the internet.
Yeah. Now you just have to deal with ads.
Oh, yeah. Hit that little... No, we don't have any ads yet.
Nope.
Just watch and listen for free.
Yep.
Forever.
Never goes away unless the internet becomes... Well, you actually have to pay for your internet, sort of. Unless you're at Starbucks or something.
Yeah, that's true. We're not going to be streaming from Starbucks. Although we could. This ain't too much, right?
Yeah, we could. On-site at Starbucks. Can you keep it down over there?
Yeah.
But, in case you didn't notice, I really, really love this movie. It's one of those... I don't have cable anymore, but if I was flipping channels and I saw that Clue was on, it stopped. Remote's going down, no matter where it is in the movie, and I'm good to go.
This is like in that Seinfeld episode where that dude loved Desperado so much.
Oh, yeah.
He would stop everything.
Yeah.
And listen to this. Stop. Clue's on.
Exactly. Wait, did you hear something? Yeah. From across Best Buy, I look over at the TV. Just sit there the whole time.
Sure, you want to watch this movie? No, it's no Clue.
Oh, Monopoly? Yeah, whatever. I mean, honestly, this movie was so good and is so good that they can't even make any more board game movies because the bar is so high.
Oh, man. They will eventually. It'll just be something stupid like Monopoly.
Yeah. I mean, there isn't. I mean, is there any other board game movies? Well, Jumanji.
Jumanji, but that wasn't even based on a board game.
Yeah, that was a book.
It was a board game after the fact.
Yeah.
And still wasn't. And even the new one couldn't even take a nod to the board game. It was about video games or something like that. I have not seen it. You can tell us in the chat how it was if you're listening live on YouTube. Yeah, I can't think of any that would actually stand out.
Oh no, Battleship.
Okay. I chose to forget about that one.
Me did too. Me host, me speak English.
There wasn't a Monopoly movie?
Pretty sure there wasn't. No, I remember there was talk of one. And I think Ridley Scott was like his production company was supposed to be handling it or something like that. But then I guess Battleship came out and they quickly decided.
Oh my gosh, Battleship!
One of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
I can't think of any other
Such a bad movie. Yeah, that might be it.
But I will do some phone research
right now. But yeah, anyway. But Clue is just it's just every piece of this film, from the look, the aesthetic, the set design, the acting, the costuming, the bit characters, everything in this film works so well together. It is a board game.
Yeah, Ouija. And apparently Zathura of Space Adventure.
I don't know if that was a game. I thought that was just a kid's movie.
It was probably like Jumanji, the backwards release. And on this list, no Battleship. No Battleship. You can see that on the YouTube stream.
Yep,
Look how close I can get.
So Clue remains the greatest board game movie ever made.
And Candyland's on there too, but I'm sure that was just a little animated cartoon for people. Like. Yeah.
Bleh.
But, yeah.
So that begs the question, what board game could actually be a good movie?
Oh, there's tons now.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take it back a step. Back in the
Take back-
80s, 90s.
So if we were to take it back to that time period,
Tornado Rex.
Fireball Island.
Yeah. Like, how exciting would that be? This island's going to explode.
Yeah,
We have to get across this
big
rickety
ass
bridge.
fireballs are just coming at you from all directions. I mean, there are a lot of the lesser known ones. You know, take apart the Targets and the Walmart releases.
Yeah.
There were lots of games back then that no one's ever heard of. That very small crowd. Like in 1979, there was a game called Stop Thief, about just this area that was just there's like 4 stores there, and each of them are just being attacked by thieves that are played by the computer. It was a little electronic game.
Interesting.
And you would hit go, and you would hear footsteps, you would hear a glass break, or you would hear a door, and that would let you know where he is. And everybody's just trying to catch the thieves together. So, I could see that being a movie, Like all the thieves get together, and, like, we have a thieves code, we need to stick together. And they're opening these 4 banks on all 4 corners. We're going to hit them as fast as we can, every man for himself. And then the cops show up, and that's the main characters, of course, the police.
Which bank?
Yeah.
One of these banks in this corner.
Yeah, and it'll be like I don't know, the Battle of Helm's Deep, except for cops versus robbers, and they're like counting the people that are booking.
I think they should turn. Well, that's a real game. I was going to say freeze tag.
Freeze tag, yeah.
Oh, no.
Crossfire
He got me. Well, the commercial for Crossfire was
was
movie.
the movie. Yeah.
Crossfire floating on the pieces. That was like one of the most epic, greatest board game
Yeah.
commercials ever.
It was like Spy Kids before Spy Kids.
Yeah, pretty much. So I don't think there's.
Yeah, for the time, yeah, there's not much to do.
Like you said, nowadays there's so many.
Yeah.
You can make a good movie about pandemic or
Sure.
house betrayal at house or
Betrayal at House on the Hill.
yeah, whatever.
Or even Mansions of Madness, yeah. It's
Yeah,
very similar thing.
a lot of
I
those.
mean, why hasn't there been a big budget Cthulhu movie? That's like free for anyone to grab.
Yeah, true.
But they haven't done it, and they will eventually, and maybe that'll get some nods to the board game arena. It could be
But
an
it seems
Arkham
more
Horror.
like I think a more likely thing is going to be that somebody's gonna have a script like, hey, this reminds me of that board game. We
Yeah.
can probably get the license real cheap. We already got the script, and we'll just
Yeah.
make a couple little changes here, and now we have a movie.
They'd get that license for free. I guarantee you.
Yeah, probably.
Because the publicity
Yeah.
would just be. Can't pass it up.
But anyway, what they did with looking at Clue, because it's a whodunit,
Right.
and in the board game, everybody's playing as a different suspect in the house, one location, like we talked about last week, which made us so excited that we had to
Yeah.
go home and watch Clue, and that's what we're talking about today. So it really, especially in the hindsight of the movie, it lends itself to it. However, I never would have thought to make it a comedy. Because it could have been like a dark mystery, like, no, Miss
Right.
Scarlet, it was you, instead of Miss Scarlet, and all the hilarity that ensues.
All right.
But that's the genius of the movie, to me, is that, it's a whodunit mystery. People are dying all over this movie.
Right.
But it maintains its the comedic beats, every one of them hits for me. It's just so funny, and again, it's the little things that make this movie much like akin to like a Three Amigos, in my opinion,
Right.
or a Ghostbusters. It's the little things. It's not the big jokes. It's the offhanded comments, or just the physicality of some of the actors, especially with each other.
Yeah.
In this movie,
Or
It
even
just-
like you mentioned off camera, you were just hearing it, and you were just like, I like his face right there. Not even seeing the screen.
Yeah.
You knew it in your head.
like I said, I promise you, I've seen this at least 40 to 50
Yeah, I
times.
know, but just him raising his eyes like that.
Well, it's Tim Curry. I mean,
you could see on
Man of
YouTube.
1,000 Faces.
Us doing it.
Yeah, but you obviously like this movie too. So
Yeah.
what do you think? Or just
I mean, you're hitting all the notes right, because it's an inspiring movie too for someone who makes films too. Because this is all in one location. You can do this at your house, people.
if
you know?
if you had a study, a basement,
Well, you adjust to what
billiard
you have.
room.
okay,
here's
if
the
you had to
closet
make it themed,
in the hall
yes.
bathroom.
If you had to theme it as such
You
to
could.
Clue, that
Yeah.
would be more difficult.
Of
But I mean,
course.
if you look at people have made the map of that house in Counter-Strike. You can run around the house. It's in this movie. The switches are all where they need to be and everything.
That's awesome.
But you can look at it from overhead, and they made it just like the map. Like this house was perfect for it. I don't know if you have information on that, whether they actually adjusted the house to make it so. I'm sure they did. Just found a house with the 9 rooms like that or whatever it
Well,
was.
for the movie, a little preview of the trivia part is that everything's a set. The whole house is a set for this film.
Oh, it had to be then.
Yeah.
Because it's perfectly laid out, just
Yeah.
like a board.
Well, if you notice, one of the coolest things I think is that if in the main hallway, the tile shape is the board tiles.
Oh, wow.
So it's
Didn't even notice that.
again talk how great they integrated the board game aspect, the mystery
Yeah.
aspect, and then you throw the comedy on top of it, all together, and it works.
Right.
It works unbelievably.
Yeah.
Like again, I think the bar was raised so high with this film, be based on a board game, they just can't oh, you're right. This is a great idea, John, but it's no Clue.
It'll never
This
be.
doesn't pass the Clue test. But even as far as to where the secret passages go and come out, that matches the board game.
Right.
The one that goes from the kitchen to the billiard room or wherever it goes.
Yeah.
That's all exact from the board game. Wow. So that was the attention they put to
That's when you had writers that cared.
yeah. They
Unlike
And-
Battleship, he's like, I never played Battleship. It's about a ship, right?
Yeah, aliens, right?
Aliens, yeah.
Aliens like attacking the Navy.
Yeah. I can't write a script where people fight people.
Like that. I think that's exactly what happened. Is like what I was mentioning earlier was that they had this script for an alien invasion. Like,
Right.
those are a dime a dozen. We need something to draw people in.
Yeah. What license can we slap on this?
Exactly. And then because that's
Cross promotion,
The
that's where the money
entire
is.
reason it's called Battleship is because they have that one scene where they're like pinging to try to hit them. They're like, try A14. Nothing's there. Damn it. B12. We got a hit. We got a hit. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
gosh.
so dumb. God, that movie was terrible. Like, so bad. Just, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember very little of it. I remember it was filmed around here, some of it,
Some of it.
and some in Hawaii. But remember Rihanna's in there for some reason.
Gambit.
It just reminded me of Cammy and Street Fighter 2. Or I mean, not Street Fighter, the movie.
Yeah.
Just
shows
like
up.
she's just thrown in there.
Yeah. For no other reason.
But I liked Cammy a lot more.
Yeah.
I mean,
Kylie
two
Minogue.
musicians thrown into some
Oh,
role
yeah.
they don't belong
just
to.
to be a name in it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, in case you didn't notice, Clue is really fucking good. So, but I mean, and the performances are so nuanced in it, just how they feed, like reaction wise, and how they feed off each other. Like to be a fly, or just to be, even just a boom mic operator on the set, just for like knowing actors of this quality all in the same room.
Yeah.
And there's not a weak link. There's no one in here is a bad actor.
Except the first guy that died.
Oh, I mean,
And the cook.
leaving.
And
Well, she had like one line.
Yeah.
Dinner will be prepared. And that's it. And then
that's
she just
it.
has to fall over.
But I mean, even the Telegram Girl was a good actor.
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing stands out as bad in the film.
Right.
There's not, I mean, of course, there's not CG or anything. I mean, it's all practical.
Yeah.
It's just such a blast to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing but a joy in my heart and a smile on my face whenever I watch this movie.
Yep.
I honestly have nothing bad to say about it.
Like even the lead up to it, like
Yeah.
lead up to the quote unquote action of the movie, like it's the awkward meeting of strangers.
Yeah.
I mean, even that part's
And it's
interesting.
and the thing is, the movie it takes itself seriously,
Mm-hmm.
to where like everybody's like, oh yes, pleased to meet you, Mrs. White, and then like, it's the subtle
Yeah.
stuff because Wadsworth steps in dog shit,
Right.
and then it's
that
just
just carries
everybody's like,
on.
no name, sir. Like everybody's so serious, but the comedy is organic and it just happens,
Yeah.
and it's not like an Adam Sandler movie or a Judd Apatow movie where it's just forced and then you have some dramatic thing at
Right.
the end. Like even everything in this movie, it doesn't sacrifice the comedy for any other aspect of it.
Right.
And that is so rare because usually Adam Sandler movie, Happy Gilmore, love that movie to death, but you have that 10-minute part like, no, we have to save Grandma's house. And it just gets really serious and then
Yeah.
right back to the comedy.
Yeah.
But good comedies just keep rolling right through all the dramatic stuff, like Naked Gun. Not
Yeah.
that there's much dramatic stuff in it, but I mean, there's never a break. Three Amigos, even when like, yeah, it's real. It's still funny. Like, it's just like, it's just,
I watched an interesting video about it's called "The Day the Simpsons Died." It talks about when they feel the Simpsons.
oh,
was
hey,
done. Oh, hey, Clue rules. That's right.
I agree.
it was the episode where Skinner was revealed to not be Principal Skinner. He was actually replaced as his leading officer, like when he was thought to be dead. They said that killed a character that was 8 seasons old, and then went. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is the writers and everything went away, and those writers from the 80s and everything who went on to do great things, they put layers into the comedy. Like you can take 15 seconds and there would be 4 jokes in there that were funny. Whereas today's writing, sitcom writing and Simpsons writing, it's almost as if it's waiting for a laugh track.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why I despise The Big Bang Theory. I hate it with
Exactly.
every fiber of my being. It's
That's
not
the
funny.
example they used was Big Bang Theory. And they took out the laugh track on it and says, see how effective this is now.
Yeah.
You know,
You're not being told when to laugh.
right.
Or like, because my mom loves Big Bang Theory. I'm like, Mom, you. It's because they make like, oh, this
I mean,
is.
I know a lot of people like it, and that's
Yeah,
fine.
hey, if you like it, that's fine,
That's
but
fine.
it's
That's
not
for you.
good comedy. Go
Yep.
watch Seinfeld. I
Yep.
hate Seinfeld. Big Bang Theory is so much funnier than Seinfeld. Go choke yourself.
Yeah, I like Seinfeld.
But like explanatory humor, like, oh, you're nothing like Reed Richards because of those cosmic rays, or you just make some obtuse reference to nerd culture or geek culture, and then you throw the laugh track in when that happens, and all of a sudden people are like, oh, that must be funny. I know when to laugh. Tell me when to laugh. And then a lot of people, I say a lot of people, but a few people I know can't even watch a comedy if it has a laugh track, or even if it's a live audience. For example, one of the funniest TV shows out there is The IT Crowd, and it's on Netflix. It's on Hulu, I believe. But one of my best friends, Perry, who will never watch this, but shame on you, Perry. But he, even though I know he would love it and would laugh his ass off,
Right.
he's not going to watch it because it has a live audience laugh track to it. But
So it's just laugh tracks, not necessarily a live audience, because I know he watches America's Got Talent or
Yeah.
America's Talent.
But like some shows will have like to where it's live laughter, and then some
Right.
just have the ah,
Yeah.
you hear the
Fake-
same laughter,
Right, because
like
you
Home
know it's
Improvement or
How
Not Home
I
Improvement,
Met
they
Your
don't
Mother
have to.
was filmed in a studio, no
Yeah.
audience, but they added in later. Yeah, those are the worst. Those are like you could have had a show without it. I mean,
I don't need to be told when to laugh. I'll laugh if something's funny.
it's a tougher job for the writer. for
I agree
sure.
completely, but
Yeah.
not for a good writer.
Right now, for a good writer
Like
or a
if,
good
you know-
group of writers.
Yeah, if you can write
Yeah.
something that doesn't need a laugh track and you're getting that kind of response,
Yeah.
you have excelled at your job.
Have you seen the In Betweeners? Oh yeah,
I know what you're talking about. I've seen like the tile on Netflix or Hulu.
Watch
Never
it.
watched it.
Watch it. Watch it.
It's good.
Watch it, guys. I mean, it's very old.
Mm-hmm.
The movies.
Is it a BBC show?
It's a BBC show. Watch the show. Skip them. Don't do the movies until the end because they filmed them afterwards anyway. The movies are really just because I missed the characters. I want to see them
Oh,
do
yeah.
one more thing because it's not as good as the show. The show's
Hate
good
when that
stuff.
happens.
Yeah.
But I love like BBC humor or just BBC shows.
And that's why I
IT
mentioned
Crowd,
it,
Mighty
yeah.
Boosh, Father Ted. We got on Little Black Books was really good. We just get on kicks with them. Like Faulty Towers is the one we're watching now with John Cleese,
Right.
young John Cleese. So it's like the man
I remember-
hasn't changed.
I remember that on public.
Yeah, PBS.
PBS.
Yeah. Because I was like, this looks so familiar, and then like I was looking up, like, yeah, it used to run on PBS.
Spaced. Have you watched that?
I know which one. I know what you're talking about. That's the one with what's his name, Simon Pegg, right? Or is that something different?
Yeah, I think so. Tell us.
Because Oh wait, that's Roger. Hey Roger, don't die in the hurricane.
Oh yeah, don't die. Well, I mean, I guess he's okay. He's
Yeah.
chatting.
He's still got, or he's either watching on his phone, or hopefully you got power, Roger.
It's hard. I don't even know how to type on the phone. So if you figured it out, good for you. But he must be on a computer. But yeah, right now, to put this in time, was it Hurricane Irma? It's making its way to Tampa.
Yep, Simon Pegg or Edgar Wright. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Haven't watched it all. I've watched a few of them.
I mean, when you have those kind of names, still have power. That's good.
Nice,
Nice.
awesome.
That's what you pay for, right?
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, more now some behind the scenes stuff about Clue, and he's on his phone. Cool, awesome.
Nice.
Because I got so hyped up last episode when we were talking about Clue being one of the best films of 1985, which it is. How 3 endings were shot and a different one was shown at each theater. All three were included on video and, of course, DVD, however. But on DVD and Blu-ray, you have the option to where you can play all the endings, which is that's how I grew up with the movie because that was the VHS.
I remember that too. Yeah.
So, that's how it could have happened, or like this, or here's how it really happened.
Yeah.
But the fun feature on the Blu-ray and the DVD is that you can just have it play a random ending. So even as you're watching it, you never know what the ending's going to be for that version.
I was thinking about that today. The appeal of board games. This is kind of crossover because we're talking about a board game movie. For 2 hours, I can play a board game, and I don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
I know how to play the game. I know how to interact with the other people at the table. I know the theme and all that stuff, but I don't know how it's going to go. Whenever I watch a movie, it takes about the same amount of time, but I know how it's going to go every time. And I'm basically watching for nostalgia, I guess, like especially if it's a repeat over and over again. But something unique that Clue does is give me a movie where I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I know choices that are going to happen, just like in a board game. I know multiple ways this can end. I don't know which one's going to be, though. I'm going to try to make it this way, but of course you can't influence the movie. But, it doesn't seem that far off to where you can influence a movie.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot more to film. And I don't know. I think that'd be a cool thing to bring back.
I don't see why like that. Somebody with this idea is copyright age revisited 2017. Trey Harris said just like a TV show to where instead of like calling in to vote somebody off or whatever,
right?
Like each episode ends with like a critical choice. Like you can't save them both, John. You have to pick one.
Like Robin, when Joker killed Robin.
Basically, or
everyone had to. It was
the comics. Like, do you want Joker to kill Robin or not?
Right. It was the Joker that no one cared for. Jason Todd.
Yeah. Robin. Yeah.
Yeah. Robin. Yeah. And and the people
wrote
voted
in and
to
they
kill
killed him. Yeah. Or just and then like that's that episode. But they film out. They just go ahead and like film like most of it to like they know which one they have to shoot.
Yeah.
But I mean, just imagine you call it costs $1 to vote or whatever. You make as long as you're telling a compelling story, of course, is the main thing.
Yeah.
But if people are watching it, and then like you can now
we did this.
Yeah. Like you're the one deciding or in mass who to kill off, or does he go to the jail or does he go to the bank or like.
That's a good. I mean, we have the capabilities of filming shorts, and that seems like a great short YouTube show. There is a show called Watch It Played. It's a board game show on YouTube that the guy plays the game as a run through. First, he teaches you how to play it. Then he takes it turn by turn, and at the end of the turn, he says, "What should my next move be?" Write down in the comments below, and whatever one gets the most likes is what I'll do in the next video. So every week he posts an update, takes about 2 turns, and says, "Okay, what's my next move?" And everybody votes for it, and he does that. So I mean, it's kind of similar in that regard.
Yeah.
Much less writing.
Yeah.
Let everybody else do the writing for
You're
it.
just letting other people vote on.
Yeah.
Like,
how are we going to start the next video?
Yeah.
After that, we'll take it from there. But essentially, it's the same. It's more playing a board game versus actually doing a narrative. But yeah, I think it's a great idea, and we should do it.
Yeah, there we go. Copyright Age Revisit 2017. Like you said, let's see. Oh, and then, in fact, when the movie was still playing in the theaters, some of the newspaper print ads, because to date, like this is Age Revisited. Like one of the Fridays were so awesome for me as a kid because we'd always get the paper, the paperboy deliveries, but it always here in Baton Rouge it was called the fun section.
Yeah.
And
it was.
When I would get home from school, I couldn't wait to go find the fun section. What movie started this week? What's that going on? Oh, look this is out now. Blah, it was so exciting to see, and see the ads in the paper, as a kid, like, oh, this is playing here and here. Just
yeah, because unless you were reading like trade magazines or something, which we weren't.
Exactly. You had no clue what was happening.
Yeah.
Or unless you're, and here in our neck of the woods, there wasn't, it wasn't Hollywood South at that point. It was rinky-dink Louisiana, so nobody gave a shit.
Right.
So there was, unless I guess you subscribed to Premiere or something else, you really had no idea aside from the trailers you saw in front of other movies.
Yeah.
So, or even the trailers you might have saw in front of VHS movies, because they used to have the trailers in front of movies on VHS, which they still kind of do on Blu-ray and DVD, but you can skip them. VHS was a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Oh crap, we're in the movie, go back. Oh, too far. Just leave it.
And then it also depended on how good your VCR was, because it would.
Yeah. Oh,
And then you should click, 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 go the other way. Times
kids
were
have it so easy
different.
today.
I know.
Now it's people complain about, I can't, my finger's too fat to slide the bar on the part I want to see. At least you ain't got to fucking rewind.
Right.
I mean, come on.
My finger's too fat to fast forward through this movie I illegally downloaded.
Exactly. Exactly. But anyway, what I was getting at, newspaper print ads would indicate which version was playing on which screen. So people want to go back and see it to see the different ending. Because, again, this is 1985. If you haven't seen it, or, it's not like you can just, like today, where you can just pull it up and watch it anytime. No, you had to oh, wow, if I want to see this ending, I want to go see it at 7 o'clock at Segan Village. Or I want to go see it at 8:15 at this other Essen Lane Cinema 6. And, because, back then you didn't know. I mean, there's still movies that have never been released on DVD or Blu-ray. Well, Deadly Prey was one of them until just a couple years ago when they released the sequel.
Yeah.
And they finally put it out. So back in the day, you literally might not ever see this movie again, or you had no idea when you would. Whereas today, I'm going to watch it again right now. Repeat.
Yep.
Done.
You can watch it on a bunch of screens now. Like, used to dream in Ninja Turtles in the Foot Clan lair, they had all the TV stacked up
all over the place.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
Now you can pretty much do that if
Or
you
like
wanted to.
the TV wall.
Yeah,
where
the
it was
TV
just
wall.
TV stacked. I think Street Fighter, Van Damme Street Fighter had that in Bison, the big TV wall. Like, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Just it's like a giant, but I mean, it's a whole bunch of. It's basically each TV's a pixel.
Right.
So you still have the black, like
Oh,
dividers
yeah,
and
yeah.
everything, but it's like, oh, that's just amazing. I want that so bad, but even then, like, we stop and think, like, that's so dumb. I mean,
It
it's
is.
like watching everything through a grid. But that's,
Like you're it looking up.
Yeah, looking
through
out of the
sewer.
Yeah. But let's see. As I mentioned, there's a lot of trivia for this film. Like 3 pages of interesting things. So let's get moving. Like I mentioned earlier,
Oh
the floor is based on the board game. The color of each character's car is the same color as their playing piece in the game.
Oh.
Now, they're not dressed in their colors. Like Miss Scarlet is not wearing scarlet. Miss Peacock does have female peacock feathers in her thing. Mr. Green's wearing a blue suit. Professor Plum's not wearing anything purple except I think his tie maybe. So they're not color-coded in costume, which is a good choice because then it's not like on the nose to where like, here's your pseudonym. Also, please dress in your color when you come to this mysterious mansion.
Well, it also falls under the what X-Men did. Whenever they released, everybody wore like this, not X-Men uniforms.
Yeah.
And everybody's going, that's kind of upsetting.
Yeah.
But it would have been cool to see them in their colors.
Let's see. Oh, like I said, the entire house is a set. Actually, one caveat to that, except for the ballroom. That was shot on location at a mansion in Pasadena. For that one scene where they
Wow.
walk across the ballroom.
Jeez. Interesting.
Professor Plum indicates at dinner that he works at the World Health Organization, part of the United Nations organization. That means he works for UNOWHO, or you know who. See, it's subtle. It's subtle.
Quite subtle.
Very.
Quite
unless
subtle.
you see the acronyms, you don't even know that
Right.
there's a joke there. Layers.
Layers of comedy.
We're in the Inception joke right now.
Because the writers are like, we'll get them somewhere.
Yeah. Somebody
If you're not laughing at that, you'll laugh later at something.
Exactly. According to an interview with Jonathan Lynn after a screening on the 25th anniversary of the film's release, actually Carrie Fisher was supposed to play Miss Scarlet. However, 4 days before they started shooting, she ended up in rehab. So
Scarlet?
I could see it.
Yeah. I don't know if that would have improved or taken away from them. It would have been kind of the same, probably.
Yeah, I don't think it would have made a.
It'd be nice to see her do more roles, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Because everybody's going to say Princess Leia.
of course. But I mean, she's.
I liked her in Blues Brothers.
Yeah, I mean, and she's almost similar in a bit to this character, in a way, just like cold, but like sassy in a way.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I
it
could-
would have worked. It just, it would have been nice to see her do something else.
Yeah, but Leslie and Warren, you did just fine.
Yep.
Let's see. Again, first movie based on a board game and the best. After the production concluded, the mansion set was bought and redecorated by the producers of Dynasty. So if you're a fan of Dynasty, The Carlton Hotel is actually
The Clue
the
set.
mansion from Clue. So it makes you want to go watch an episode of Dynasty.
On
Not really.
mute.
Yeah. Just get to the cat fights.
Yep.
Several rather famous actresses, or well-known actresses, I should say, were considered for the role of Yvette. Jennifer Jason Leigh, who's had a big resurgence lately, Demi Moore, and Madonna were all considered. However, Colleen Camp was so eager to earn the part, she came to her audition in a French maid costume. And pretty much the director admitted, though, he was impressed by her comedic acting skills, but it was her well-endowed figure that convinced him that there was no avoiding it and casting her in that role. Because that is very important to her character in this film.
I guess, yeah. Yeah.
So, and then
read
also,
your books, kids. They're useless.
it depends on how God gifts you.
Right, right.
Jonathan Lynn had known Tim Curry since they were teenagers, and he personally asked him to be in the film. But they were also interested in Rowan Atkinson at the time. But in 1985
Mr.
in
Bean.
America, nobody knew who the hell he was.
Right.
Speaking of British TV shows, Blackadder with Rowan Atkinson, hilarious. That's another one working through as well. And they also, speaking of, mentioned him earlier, John Cleese was also considered at one time. Which I could see that, but he's so tall, like he would
Right.
he looked more like Lurch. He'd become the Addams Family. The painting behind Mr. Body's chair in the dining room scene is actually Mr. Body leaving in a butler's uniform, which foreshadows the revelation at the end of Ending C that he's not Mr. Body, but in fact is the butler. Which, why would Mr. Body, in Ending C's version,
Right.
a.k.a. Tim Curry, have a painting of his butler hanging in his mansion?
For the ruse.
Red herring, you mean?
Right.
Another red herring. Yeah, whatever. There's actually a fourth ending, scripted and shot, in which Wadsworth committed all the murders out of a twisted need for perfection in his life. He reveals that he poisoned everyone with a slow-acting toxin in their drinks, and it ended with Wadsworth being killed by dogs as he attempted to escape by car from the house. The rather grim nature of the ending is probably why it was never released, and it was never shown because the filmmakers thought the ending would have been too obvious. It only survives in the novelization and the storybook, which features but a single photo from that ending, which is the chief punching Wadsworth in the stomach. So, good choice not going with the eaten by dogs and mass Jonestown-esque poisoning of the entire cast.
Still, knowing they shot another one, I want to see it.
I mean, I would love to see it, but I
Yeah.
can definitely see how, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
But, well, I take it back. With the skilled writers that they had in this film,
Yeah.
maybe it would have. But reading it, it's pretty brutal.
Right.
I thought this was interesting because every time I watch it, knowing the endings, I'm always like, okay, Miss Peacock isn't there, or okay, this should be going on at this time. You put the pieces together when you watch it. But in ending B, where it's revealed that Miss Peacock is the murderer, it is revealed. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. In ending B, it's revealed that Peacock is actually shot by the chief of police when he confronts her at the car. This was in the original cut. After saying they got Miss Peacock, when Wadsworth and the other 5 guests run outside, the chief then turns to Miss Peacock's dead body and shoots her again. This was deemed too dark, obviously, and Eileen Brennan recorded a new line saying she's a senator's wife so that Peacock is arrested instead of shot. However, part of the rejected sequence remains in the film, and you can notice it when the police run to Miss Peacock to arrest her. You can see smoke still in the air from the chief's revolver as if it had been recently fired. So, stuff left on the editing room floor, thankfully, because that's just kind of brutal too. Just, pow, she's still alive. I don't know. That's pretty dark. And then in the same ending, ending B, Mr. Green remarks, Mrs. Peacock was a man? In ornithology, a peacock does refer to the male of the species, and a peahen is a female peacock.
Oh.
So there's your biology lesson for the day. Ranger Rick, signing off. In 2 of the endings, ending A and ending B.
Stay wild.
Let's not give... he ain't going to give us a plug, so...
Well, we like him.
Yeah, we do. Anyway. But in ending A and B, where multiple people are not the killers, as in the case in ending C, a woman is the murderer in both. The film connecting... it's basically referencing that old maxim, the female of the species being deadlier than the male, which Colonel Mustard mentioned earlier in the film. So it just kind of not necessarily a hint, but it is sort of a hint if you've had ending A or ending B, where it turns out the female is the deadlier of the species. Let's see. Other 3 endings, the second, Miss Peacock as the lone killer, is the least believable. And here's why it's possible. however unlikely, that she could have killed most of the victims, the scenario surrounding the motorist is dubious at best. She couldn't have stolen away from Professor Plum without him realizing it to get out of the cellar, across the hall to the cupboard, got the wrench, entered through the lounge, through the conservatory, killed the motorist, back to the passage, returned to the cellar, where she emerges with Plum moments later, all without ever crossing paths with Miss Scarlet or Colonel Mustard, who are patrolling the ground floor. So if you want to get technical about
Right.
it,
I was going to say, they already had a lot of hoops to jump through, and they were like, whoa, that's a little far.
that's a stretch there,
Let's
boy.
stop it there.
Let's throw that ending out. Okay, this is a long one. Let me see. Okay, anyway, let me just read it.
Dead air.
I was like, okay, I just
We don't
just start
edit,
talking.
guys. You know that.
In the third ending, the last three murders, specifically Miss White's killing of Yvette, is physically impossible given the order of events. And here it goes. I'll do my best, Tim Curry, to sum it up.
Oh, no.
But I'm not going to I'm not going to
Play the
speak.
fun music over it.
The lights are turned off, according to Wadsworth, by Mrs. White. After some physical gags, we see Miss White in the nursery on the second floor, where she dramatically screams as the window blows open. As we hear her screaming upstairs, Yvette is coming down the stairs to the ground floor, where she enters the billiard room. Yvette enters the billiard room, where she speaks to her killer, allegedly Mrs. White, who, despite being heard screaming upstairs, is already strangling Yvette. Miss Scarlet is also out in the hall, sneaking into the library to kill the cop. Meanwhile, Wadsworth, who has the gun, has come downstairs to answer the door and kill the telegram girl in the moments that follow. In full view of Colonel Mustard in the dining room, Miss Scarlet leaves the library, and somehow without crossing paths with Wadsworth and Mrs. White, both return upstairs. Wadsworth back in the bedroom, and Mrs. White back to the nursery. Miss White screams at the Jack-in-the-Box, prompting Wadsworth to enter the shower before returning downstairs once more to turn back on the electricity.
Fantastic.
And to make a long story short, too late. There you go.
Great.
So,
I think that was a fine impression.
thanks.
Go on
Body
YouTube and watch it.
Hey.
Because, yeah, I think you nailed it.
wore a tuxedo and
I
everything.
mean, he was running all around the room and with the mic.
You
No,
wouldn't
he
even
wasn't.
know it unless you were watching it.
But, yeah.
Body count.
Prove us otherwise.
Would you like to guess the body count?
Oh, I could actually count it.
Actually, there's two different
Oh,
body counts.
Well,
There's a body count with ending
Which
A and B,
ending?
and then and a body count with ending C.
oh my gosh. I don't want to take up too much time counting, so I'm just going to throw out a number, combining all of them together. 8.
Too high.
Too high. 6.
6.
Yeah.
6 is the correct one. 7 with ending C. The 7th, unfortunately, being Tim Curry. That always makes me sad. When Tim Curry dies in anything.
Yeah.
When Tom Cruise kills him in Legend, I'm just like, oh, you fucking little bitch. Couldn't you just win? Can darkness win once? You know. Oh, Roger guessed 2. Sorry. Little low. However,
2,
Roger,
yeah.
if you and Jesse were on the Price is Right, you would have lost because you went over.
That's true.
And Roger, you would have won.
So you won.
In Price is Right
Leslie
rules.
win.
In Price is Right rules.
You win a hurricane.
Coming your way right now. All right. Score. Jesse, what would you give Clue if you had to give it a score?
Oh. Clue. God, it's very revisitable. Passes the Xanadu test.
Rated very high on the Xanadu scale.
8.5.
Oh,
maybe?
well,
Yeah.
I give it a 9.5. It is one of my absolute
or not
favorite
even
movies.
9 even. Yeah, I'm trying to think like, let's count some things against this. It's very hard to do that.
Yeah, you can nitpick most movies. Like
Sure.
we're going to talk about it in a few minutes, and I can nitpick what I didn't like about that. But when I'm thinking about Clue, like what would I
What
change?
would I have liked
what would
to have
I
seen?
have
Yeah.
changed? I'm not saying it's a perfect movie, but I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
You know, I think and because it was made in the 80s, and it also looks like something from like the 60s, or it's sort of not timeless, but it's anachronistic in a way. It's just like, I don't know. It's so damn good.
It is.
It's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
Definitely one of the best comedies. If I
raise it to a 9.
Ha! Success.
What's your rating, listeners? Post in the comments below. And if you're watching this at a later date, I guess you could still post it in the comments below.
Yeah, technically, definitely could. But
Tweet it to us.
It goes
80s
without
Revisited.
saying, Clue is not just one of the funniest movies of the 80s, but in my opinion, all time. And I mean, like Three Amigos, like Ghostbusters. I'm trying to think of some other ones offhand, like Tropic Thunder, for a recent example. And it holds up Everything about it is so funny. The acting is top notch. Like anybody who doesn't like Tim Curry, watch Clue.
Yeah.
Just watch Clue. Watch the last 20 minutes of Clue where he doesn't shut up and runs around combining the elements of all three Stooges, Laurel and Hardy and Abbott and Costello, all into one character. And it's phenomenal. And then in ending C, immediately turns on that Tim Curry villain switch
Yep.
because he's that good of an actor. Absolutely amazing. And even though Tim Curry is amazing, the whole cast is amazing. Just when the the chemistry, that's the word I was looking for.
Okay, I gotta look up this guy. This Jonathan Lynn that wrote this. He also has another movie called Nuns on the Run,
Yeah.
which is a board game.
Seriously.
Now he probably didn't base it on the board game, but it's a pretty old board game. His movie came out in 1990. I have to check. I know it's an older game, but I'd be very curious if it was.
I'm sure it has nothing to do
It
with
has
the board.
nothing
It has
to
to
do
just be
with-
the name because
'cause-
Nuns on the Run, it rhymes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the photo here, which people can see on YouTube because
Yeah.
I'm holding up
my
my
mother
phone
loved
here.
that movie because she likes nuns.
Yeah, Nuns on the Run. Nuns on the Run, the actual game is about one person plays the nuns and the other people play people staying with the nuns. And they're sneaking out of their rooms at night and trying to get something. Like they have a goal in mind. Like,
Yeah, that's not
I
the
want to
movie.
eat candy. Yeah. No, it's not it at all. But funny that they had the same name.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet he's a board gamer.
He's like,
Yeah.
damn it, they got
I mean,
Jumanji before me.
And there was a board game called My Cousin Vinny. No, I'm kidding. There wasn't that.
I don't know how that would work.
Right?
That'd be some sort of lawyer game where like
Yeah.
you're getting evidence cards or
Like, I'm the car expert.
hey, I'm sure somebody can make it work. You can make it work, I'm sure, Jesse. But
Sure. 3 Men and a Little Lady. That could be a hidden movement game where she's moving around the
we
town.
gotta find the lady.
We gotta
the
find
little
the
lady. Where is this little lady?
I'll
Is
be
Clue the
Tom
best board
Selleck.
game adaptation ever? Roger says. You damn right.
Yes. I mean, we talked about that earlier. We covered, what was it, like Battleship?
Yeah.
Ouija?
What was the other? There was one other one. Was it?
Jumanji was the other way
Yeah.
around.
Book, game, then
yeah.
game.
And that's Arthur or whatever, but that was also the other way around.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's the best, and it's going to be hard to beat.
Yep. I don't.
Until, I can't imagine, like,
Shoots and ladders, bro. Has
I mean,
potential.
the hot games right now that people might do something with, because Walmart and Target are starting to get into board game.
Yeah. Big time.
Big time, yeah. And so they're
Walgreens
all,
even.
yeah, well, I don't know if they're going to stick with it. They've been selling them off like crazy.
Oh, and also Best Buy. I was in Best Buy for the
Yes.
first time. Like, there's a board game section in Best Buy.
Yep. Catan, you could find at most places.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I mean, I don't know what you would do it about. It's about people settling into the island of Catan.
I mean, we could even take The Walking Dead
Right.
and edit together a trailer for Dead of Winter,
For sure.
the movie.
Absolutely,
I
no
mean,
doubt.
It's
The Walking Dead in winter. That's
yeah,
all
that's
it is.
all it is. It's snowing.
Somebody's bound to do Ticket to Ride. It'd be like an action movie where it's like, okay, we're going to race trains across the USA. It's going to be Fast and Furious on trains or something. I don't
Vin
know.
Diesel on a conductor's hat
Yeah.
with a little mustache. I live my life.
I live my life on the rails.
Yeah, one rail at a time. God, I would see it. I would absolutely go see 18th century Fast and the Furious with trains. If it had the same cast, but like Ticket to Ride.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
And they brought back Paul Walker and CG.
CG, yeah.
Because most of that movie, he was CG. I didn't realize that. Like, I watched the behind the scenes. His brother played a lot of those roles that he was in.
Oh, wow.
And they just CG'd his face on top of him.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Okay.
Yeah. I
What-
thought it was like just one part or something, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
most of the movie.
Yep, but in the real world, since it's our test stream, are we going to read this out for the podcast, or just talk about recap? Just a simple recap.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Do
we'll just
whatever
read
you
it.
want.
In the real world, again, Clue released December 13th, 1985. 2 days prior, Hugh Scruton is killed outside a Sacramento, California computer rental store by a Unabomber bomb, becoming the first fatality of the Unabomber. And speaking of the Unabomber, that
Congratulations, guy.
when they released that sketch of the Unabomber, like as a 5-year-old kid, that scared the crap out of me.
The one with glasses.
Yeah,
and
with
a
the with the hoodie and the little weird, because it looked like Weird Al. Like
Weird Al's killing people.
Oh no, I don't know, but just like that police sketch just terrified me as a kid. Like I couldn't look at it. If I saw it like on the cover of Time magazine as a kid, I was just like, that's scary, because it was a real monster. Is why it was scary to me.
Yeah, the real monster.
But when you look at it now, yeah, it's totally Weird Al with sunglasses instead of real glasses,
yeah,
prescription glasses. And it's actually a series now on some channel.
This way.
With what's his name from Avatar and Paul Bettany. Sam Worthington. There's like a history thing. Stop it, Jesse! I'm freaking out, man. I'm freaking out. Hey, here's some package. Here, open this package for me, little kid. Hold on, wait. Let me get away. Let me get away.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Unabomber was active around the same time as this film was coming out. So, any final thoughts on Clue, Jesse? Ted Kaczynski, that's right. Not John Krasinski, but Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber.
I mean, let's take a second to talk about the board game, because we actually played it like, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And your wife won?
Surprisingly, my wife kicked our ass at Clue.
Big time.
Like third
not even
round.
close. Yeah.
Like third or fourth round. Like I'm like down, like, okay, I got 2 suspects. I just can't put my finger on the murder weapon. She's like, I'm done. It's bam, bam, bam. Like, I was dumbfounded. I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
Like I was adamantly like, there is no way that you did this.
Yeah. Why are you doing this?
Yeah. Like, you're just, because I thought she wanted to go home.
Right.
That she was tired and she wanted to go. So this was her way of like revealing the cards. I'm wrong. Guess we got to go. The game's over, or whatever. But she was dead right.
Well, only that player would go out. So yeah.
Oh, that's true, because she would look at it and she's wrong.
Yeah. She would put it back in,
But she
and
still
everybody
couldn't-
else would play.
She might just want to go lay on the couch and go to sleep.
Right. But she didn't. She won.
She kicked ass. I mean, I was like,
I have a lot of board
dumbfounded.
games. I have like 350 board games. Clue is still a good one. Like, of those
I love
classics
it's
you
fun.
find,
Yeah,
it's one of the better ones.
definitely.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I don't know, it's different every time in a sense.
Yeah.
And then just, and I think it paved the way for social deduction games like
Absolutely.
Resistance, Secret Hitler,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. People are hiding things from me.
Yeah.
That part was
How do
fun.
I figure it out?
So yeah, they took that element and spread it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I like Clue as a board game. You should play it and play some other ones that do stuff. If you want my opinion, you could send an email to 80srevisit@gmail.com or ask in the comments below of what kind of board game is like Clue that I could play.
Bam. But back to the future segment now. It's been about 2 weeks, unfortunately, since we last podcasted, so got some catching up to do. Game of Thrones finale. Yep. So spoilers on that if you haven't seen it, which you should have by now.
I got something right.
You were right. And then something I didn't see coming at all, Littlefinger.
Sure. Yeah. But that was cool.
Whatever. That was stupid. Here's why it's stupid. This Littlefinger's been active for 7 fucking seasons.
Yeah.
Minute plans behind the scenes, manipulating everyone. And he just gets taken out because I saw you telling my father this. Like,
right.
they don't believe that there's White Walkers, but they believe this kid's seeing through birds and traveling through time.
That was one of the theories I had, though, about Littlefinger. Is like, oh, they're playing him. Now, they're not showing us. I thought that was foolish that they were showing the audience the behind the scenes of the sisters. They shouldn't have done that. Mm-hmm. Because then it feels like, oh, well, you were just stringing us along like you were stringing along Littlefinger. They should have always done it with him present.
Yeah.
And showing that.
But see, I thought the reverse of that was all just part of Littlefinger's machinations.
Oh,
to like he would like to show that he knew he was doing it on purpose, which he was, but it backfired on him.
Yeah,
because of the fact that Bran's a 3-eyed raven.
Right.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that he went out. He went out too soon. Like I would have put money on him being on the Iron Throne at the end.
Oh wow.
Because they built him like he's always been like that, always in the back, like, yes, Sansa, we're going to do this now. I'll help you, like I helped your mother. He's always just menacing, like, he disappears for a couple episodes, but he comes back like with all of these carefully placed seeds that are bearing fruit. I would not be surprised if there's something that comes along later that he, like, if he's dead, that something like he might have allowed for even.
Yeah.
Because what bugs me about him dying like he did.
Oh, he agrees with you. Great minds
Great
think
minds
alike.
think alike, but fools are seldom different. Is the second part of that. But hey, I'm a fool
no
for
one ever
Littlefinger.
says the second.
Exactly. But he left out Littlefinger would be. Yep.
Yep.
Exactly. But it's just now I can see that being his fate, but not just we got to kill somebody off in the season finale. Like it felt like they just threw that in there at the last minute, not at the last minute, but like because they're so compressed for time. Let's just take. Nobody likes Littlefinger. Now, granted, they haven't done much with him until the last couple of episodes.
Yeah.
But that should have led to something bigger, I assumed, especially because of everything that he did going all the way back to the first season with Ned Stark.
Yeah.
All this carefully laid plan thrown out the window because of fucking
Something he messed up.
psychic boy,
Psychic
you know.
boy.
So
Because of the mutant.
basically, you know, I mean, they should have done they should have just done a little bit better job of just making it more believable that he got outsmarted, not just
Yeah.
magic saved the day, like the MacGuffin
But at
of
the
magic.
same time, if he would have kept getting away with it, people would have been like, wouldn't the Three-Eyed Raven know that? Yeah,
No.
it would have went the other way.
Yeah, but I mean,
So it's hard to say.
I'm not going to complain too much because it was badass. I mean,
Yeah.
the episode was badass. I mean, the
Right.
walkers are coming in, so
The lead up could have been more weighted, I guess. Yeah, to where he thought, well, if I screw this up, I might die because of it. You know, something epic, which is true.
yeah.
But
But that was one thing too. You never know what he's thinking. Like it's never like you never see a meeting of Littlefinger and somebody like yes, my plans are coming.
Yeah,
to
he's never
fruition. like
saying
stroking
what-
his beard like yes.
yeah,
If now as long as this happens, I will be king. You know, it's all you never know what his intentions were.
right.
All you know is that he loved Caitlin Stark.
Yeah,
That's the only truth that you knew that he spit out of his mouth.
yeah.
So that's my only complaint. But I mean, overall, I mean, ain't nothing I can do about it. Motherfucker's dead. But
That's it.
Yep. So and also the biggest news in the film world, it came out. I don't suppose you've got a chance to see it yet, but
I have not.
you seen the original or the TV miniseries? I would assume.
Yeah, long ago.
It's. I mean, they don't. There's really no spoilers that you can. I think if you've seen the original, there's not much you can spoil, aside from
so it all
just
kind of stays the same.
it's pretty. I mean, there are differences. Don't get me wrong, but
Right.
there's nothing like watching it. You know, I was not surprised. Put it to you
Yeah.
that way. The most surprising thing I thought was, first of all, I loved it. Thought it was great. I'm glad that we have a good Stephen King movie, especially
Mm-hmm.
since Dark Tower was okay. You know, a good horror Stephen King movie.
Right.
But again, I can't really nitpick Clue, but I can nitpick it a little bit in that it wasn't scary. It was more like Stranger Things. You know,
Thrilling,
Yeah,
suspenseful.
it was the Goonies with an interdimensional demon,
Right.
basically. Which I'm fine with that because that's what the first half of it always was. It was the kid story. I mean, not if you read the book with the orgy scene, all that other stuff. And Roger says we all float in Florida. beep, Roger. Yeah, but overall, I mean, again, you should definitely go see it. It's great. My two biggest complaints are it really wasn't scary. There's jump scares, of course, like, I look this way, I look that way. Oh, and there, he's standing right there when I look back.
Right.
Typical type stuff. I can see people who probably aren't desensitized to or didn't grow up watching a ton of horror movies because we really haven't had that many good ones lately. Mm-hmm. You know, like thinking it's like terrifying and all that. I can understand that, but it's definitely more.
People can't handle a haunted house or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Those dudes that go to the haunted house and put their girlfriend in front of them, like, let's go, babe, go, babe, I'll protect you, babe.
Yeah.
But and then my only other complaint really is just so much CG. So nothing CG has ever scared me.
Yeah, because you could see it's too perfect.
Yeah. Now then when you watch the original and of course again it's dated. It's 90s television. Of course it doesn't hold up.
Right.
But Tim Curry's performance holds up. That motherfucker's still scary as hell.
Yeah.
And he's real. Now, of course, Bill Skarsgård is in makeup on set, but when his mouth opens up and his eyes are like CG in some parts and stuff like that, so immediately not scared.
Yeah.
Me personally. Whereas when Tim Curry grabs Georgie and then he's got those demon contacts in and those big fangs in. My little brother was so scared of that. I just had to be like, "Hey, Georgie," and he'd be like, "Stop it, Mom! Trey's scaring me." I just had to say, "Hey, Georgie." That's all I have to do. You terrify him.
takes.
That was how effective something on like real was.
Yeah.
Now, the makeup is fantastic in the film. The kid actors are all really, really good, which is a key, vital element in a film like that. Going back to the Goonies, go back to Super 8, Stranger Things. They did bump it up. I think I've never read the entire book because it's fucking bigger than the Bible. Because I read it when I was a kid, the first half, which is just the kids' half. And then this was after I saw the TV miniseries, and the second half of the miniseries never interested me as much as the first. Being a kid, I didn't really care what the adults did.
Yeah.
So I never finished the second half of the book. But I want to say the book actually takes place like in the late 50s, early 60s, or, but the new one takes place in the 80s, which is fantastic. He's got a late 80s, actually, late 80s into the early 90s. There's like Nightmare 5 comes out. They have a Beetlejuice poster on the wall. The theater's playing, Roger says, 1,138 pages.
Whew.
He has it right here in front of him.
I like doing this live because we can get the information
See,
like that.
Fact checker, Roger
Yeah,
Russell,
yeah.
on the case. Official 80s Revisited fact checker.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Roger. Yeah, but as I'm watching it, I was engrossed the entire time. Definitely worth seeing in the theater. But it's just, I didn't find it scary. I wish it would have been a little bit more scary. Is my only real complaint. And again, a lot of it's just the CG. But, however, the CG looks a lot better than the miniseries when it's a stop motion crab spider coming out at the end. But, that physical... The thing that made the original It so scary, especially with Tim Curry, was that he looked like a clown. Like, he looked like a real clown. But he had the creepy...
Right.
It was Tim Curry as a clown, so that makes it creepy, period, because Tim Curry by himself. But Pennywise in the new It is obviously not human. Like, in his form and everything. Like, he's got a big, bulbous head. He looks creepy, don't get me wrong. But Tim Curry in the original looks like a guy dressed up like a clown, which is what Pennywise is supposed to be. But they really push the proportions in the new one, which, that's fine. It doesn't bug me. But definitely worth seeing. And strangely enough, I was reading the trivia for it, and they did, when they originally were trying to make the new updated movie, they did approach Tim Curry if he'd be interested at all in being able to do anything. Now, I'm not sure if this was before or after his stroke. I would assume it had to be before, when he could actually get around. But he just said, like, he already did that character once. He wasn't really interested in doing it again, which is unfortunate because he's what made it scary.
And he can make some other roles scary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not too many anymore.
No.
So sad. So sad that he's pretty much in a wheelchair right now. But it just makes me sad. Anyway, but thank you for tuning in, especially Roger, our fact checker, on YouTube on our inaugural or reboot of 80s Revisited live streaming on YouTube.
It's all a process. This is a test stream. It says it right up here. I think I'm pointing at it. Yeah, right here. We gotta look at the camera.
It's weird. It's like, when the newscasters,
Yeah.
when they obviously, we have this frontal system coming this
like
way.
Doing
Yeah.
especially if they're new.
Well, y'all can see it on YouTube and other podcasts.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so that's kind of what we've been watching. Oh, have you seen anything lately? Anything of note? I did finish right before I came over here. I did finish Wet Hot American Summer though.
Oh,
So good.
yeah.
Oh, anytime a
Take
show
the
leaves
poop, George.
Autumn's just like, that's not funny.
I know.
That's so gross. I'm like, no, it's funny.
It's either or.
It's funny.
It's like
It's just
because when I was first watching, I was like, I don't know if this is funny. But then someone mentioned on podcast, and it made me laugh. I was like, I guess it was funny.
it wasn't funny until he goes, to me until like he's like, oh, well, he's gonna shit on me, and then he's like, your turn, Georgie boy. And then I just like, you shit on my shit.
And they made it so long and drawn out.
It just made it great.
It's cool that some people can still get together and do that. And
something like all of those.
Except for Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
Maybe he was busy. Maybe he wanted to.
I imagine. I would honestly assume that it was probably just he probably had something he couldn't commit to it, or who knows what.
I think it'd be hilarious if they did another one. He came back.
He's like, yeah.
I'm so glad your nose went back the other way. I really didn't like it.
You got your old nose. Yeah, I'm not digging it. Or make another reference. But all that meta stuff, of course, meta is a big word. You know, like, oh, it's so meta, but it works in that capacity so well for that show to be so just absolutely ludicrous. Oh, what a hell of a nap! Yeah, that was the best sleep I ever had. Like 3 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, remember I told you I was going to talk to you? Yeah, in episode 2. What's up?
Yeah.
You know, like
It's
it's just great because it sets the tone that you know it's not taking itself seriously. So
Of course, yeah.
you automatically know just have fun, just
Yeah.
enjoy what you're seeing on the screen.
And they knew the format. So they're like, yeah, we'll talk later in episode 4.
Yeah, it was great. Like it was great. I was very because I like the original movie, the sequel movie. You know, it was fun. I mean, it's funny, but I think the show's probably the best.
Yeah.
Like just my favorite spoilers for Wet Hot American Summer, the TV show. But after they kill
The 10 years
the
later.
nanny, it's
Yeah.
like, let's hear it for a fantastic actress. Like, don't say anything.
Don't
Like, we
say
should. But then it's like 1 week later, I still see her eyes. Everybody's having a great life, and they're just like so sad because they actually murdered somebody. It's akin to Clue. It's just it's little things, just all sorts of stuff
Ensemble cast doing that. Yeah.
that kill it, that
Yeah.
just nail their characters, and just have fun with it.
Right.
So I did watch that, finish that. But anyway, I'm sorry. Was there anything else you'd seen lately? Or
Oh, not a lot. I watched The Big Sick. That was a good movie. Kumail Nanjiani and his wife wrote it. Other than that, like there were moments where I was like, I should watch Transformers, but I didn't do it.
Anthony Hopkins is in it.
Instead, I clicked on Despicable Me 3 because Trey Parker did a voice in it. I saw him do his voice, but I stopped it like halfway through. And I
it's
haven't
good.
returned yet.
Well-
I was like, okay, I hear the voice he did.
If you need your Trey Parker fix, South Park comes back
Yeah,
this week.
Wednesday.
Yes!
Can't wait. I
And
hope they go back to the old format.
Yeah.
I know he wants to because I heard on the podcast with the Nerdist, he said, I just want to go back to talking about the boys. Because real life has escalated to levels of hilarity that he can't reach.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous right now. So, yeah, go back to what the boys are doing.
Yeah.
Because I've been watching a lot of old South Park too. Like they have on YouTube actually, they have live channels where it's watch South Park live and it just puts it in a random order. I have Hulu and can watch them like that, but then I have to decide what to watch.
Yeah.
So I just put it on random, and if it plays anything from the past 2 seasons, I usually don't watch it. There are a few good ones in there, but for the most part, they're that ongoing story that was just okay, not as good as what they have been coming
Yeah,
out
not
with.
the self-contained.
Because if someone was going to do, like I talked about the day The Simpsons died, if someone was going to do something about the day South Park died, hopefully they bring it back and can say it was not season 19 or 18, whenever that storyline started, with Mr. Garrison running for president. Because that's where they would probably draw the line.
Yeah. But I don't blame them. They had, 19 seasons. They had
Oh,
to do,
yeah,
They had to do
it's
something.
fantastic.
And it wasn't terrible. It just wasn't.
Yeah, but they're putting Simpsons death at season 8. I watched the Family Guy one too, which I don't watch normal Family. I watched the first 3 seasons or something like that. But I was curious where they put that. And they said it was season 13. Like they killed off Brian.
I don't
in
know. It
season 13.
lasted 13. I don't even know how.
It's still on.
Jesus
Yeah, it
Christ.
is still on. And yeah, so if they had to put a date on it, it would still be beyond those 2 shows.
Yeah.
But I have faith that they will come back. They got a lot of funny people behind the scenes there.
Oh God, yes. I think Trey Parker would end it before he would sacrifice. I think he's intelligent enough to know this isn't working or it's just not funny.
Yeah.
To where I think he would just pull the plug because it's not like it doesn't. I don't know the fine print or anything, but it doesn't seem like they're like Comedy Central. Trey, gotta have that season.
Yep.
Need that season right now. You're under contract. It's just like no, we got a season ready. We got enough stuff for a season.
I don't even know if it's that,
He might
planned.
when he feels like it.
Like they probably just started working on it like yesterday.
That's true.
A couple days ago.
I just had 6 ideas today. Let's go
Yeah.
make a season.
I don't know why he always does it during football season though, because I know he watches football. So
Maybe that's
why
his method.
Yeah,
Who knows?
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, but then of course, the game's coming out very
Yeah.
soon.
And they just had an iPhone game
Is
about
it
to come
out?
out.
I
I don't know if it's
I've
out
seen like
yet.
the ads for it, like coming soon or
But I
sign
was
up.
shocked because they have that episode about the iPhone games with the microtransactions.
Yeah.
That's the Canadian devil doing his thing. So I was really surprised that they had a South Park game because I was like, in my mind, I was thinking, oh, they should never have a South Park game. But there it is. I mean, now he has a daughter. He has a family. He's like, okay, time to start making some bank, putting this away so I could just move back to Colorado and forget about all this.
Well, I mean, of course, like in that industry, I mean, you have people that are flashes in the pan.
Yeah.
And they make a whole bunch of money and then it's gone. Mm-hmm. Val Kilmer. Still fantastic,
And those are people that want to be in the limelight, though. I don't think he's one of those people.
Yeah. But he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just so damn creative.
He is.
He's like one of those that you want to be in the limelight. Like,
Yeah.
I'd love Sean Connery to make one more film before he
Right.
kicks the bucket.
He's
I'd
not
like
gonna
Gene
do it.
Hackman to make one more film before he kicks the bucket.
Yep.
But nah,
Hackman.
But yeah, so that kind of does it pretty much for us this week at least. So, but yeah, don't forget to hit us up on Twitter, at 80s Revisited, at Awesome Pods, on Facebook, at Awesome Podcast Network, or Awesome Pods as well. Email 80srevisited@gmail.com.
Subscribe on YouTube.
Up there.
Awesome Podcast Network. Just search Awesome Pods. You'll find us there.
Leave a review, all that fun stuff.
Yep.
And I think that shout outs as always, our good friends and Now Versus Nostalgia, John and James, and our good friend in Tasmania, Ben Wyatt with the Asia Mania podcast, who's actually in England right now visiting some other podcasters. And supposedly, Ben, you going to come down for WrestleMania? Told you, we'll show you around, we'll hang out, give you a place to stay. Come on.
Yeah, and thanks to anybody watching this.
Yeah, Roger, appreciate it.
Now or later. I mean, there could be somebody else in here that just hasn't typed anything.
That's true.
Why didn't you type anything? Just type something right here.
Maybe they don't have any hands.
Sorry.
You just offended.
Sorry.
But stay safe with the hurricane, Roger. We'll talk to you soon. But next week, honestly, we might not have one just next week. Next weekend's really stacked. Thank you, Roger. Appreciate it. It's a good show, guys. But the next episode, put it you that way, is going to be Creep Show 2.
Oh.
And we should have an interview with the Creep Show Museum
Interesting.
for that one.
Very
So,
interesting.
and that will be the prequel to Halloween Horror. So I got to get those watched and typed up for that. So I need a little prep time.
All right.
But yeah, so the next episode, whether it be next Monday or I guess out next Monday or the Monday after that, will be most definitely Creep Show 2. Just got to see when we can get that interview. And if it doesn't work out, we'll just get the episode and then maybe do the interview as a standalone episode or something.
Sure.
Like a bonus thingamabob. But that does it for episode 187, yo.
You can't say 187 without going into
Well, thanks.
some
Thanks to
song from
Snoop
the
Dogg.
early-
187 on an undercover cop. Anytime I hear that number, that's all I think about.
Yeah.
Just like you hear 9/11, you see, what time is it? Oh, it's 9/11. Whoa. Calm down, buddy.
I think of Rescue 911.
I'm sure William
With
Shatner
William
does.
Shatner. Yeah.
Rescue 911.
Yeah.
Cow, that show. I don't know why. I like looking back. I don't know why I watched it as a kid. Like,
Yeah, I know.
But I remember watching it pretty religiously. I
Yeah.
guess like just like
I think
Rescue
it
911.
must have been the time slot.
It had to be. It must have been
Yeah.
between something or a slow night of the week or something.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we'll be back next time with Creep Show 2. And until then, I remain Trey Harris.
Jesse Sedgley.
Cowabunga! Later, YouTube.
Bye.